Hey guys, I'm FatBuddyCat, and today I'm going to try to make my own foot pegs. This ought to be interesting. Alright guys, I went down to the metal yard like I said, and I got this piece of 1-inch steel. Alright, it's 1-inch tube steel, about an 1/8 inch thick. It's going to be plenty strong for what we're doing. First thing I'm going to have to do, cut this thing down to a manageable size. Alright, here's our stock engine plate with the foot pegs on it. And this piece of pipe has a welded seam, so basically breaks itself into 2 sections. This fits right here. So I'm going to go and cut it off right next to that weld. Alright, now that I have a completely random length piece of metal, I went ahead and measured it, and then I marked the center. Okay? I know that I have enough overhanging from each side of the center off of the bike to have something that looks somewhat symmetrical. Alright guys, I have this thing somewhat in the middle. My thumb is right next to our mark, and if I hold it on the frame, you can see from the front of the plate that we are very crooked. Alright, now if we come down, it improves a little bit, but not completely. If we pull it out like that to make it straight, that looks terrible. Okay, this next part I learned off of me going fast. He's building some mini bike frames of his own, and he did this trick with the notches. Now his frames are nice and straight, so he may not have done it for this reason, but it's going to work for us. Alright, so what we're going to try to do is bring our pegs up, forward, and straight, and we need some room to play with. So I'm going to try to mark out where these down tubes hit the peg tube and trace some marks. Now he, referring to me going fast, he has all of his stuff figured out, so he's able to just take measurements. Looking at this, guys, I think even if I take measurements, I'm going to be dealing with some awkward angle stuff here, so let me rough it out. Alright, I might as well be a little bit more thorough. The down tubes, see how they're at a slight angle, guys? The notch has to be able to clear both sides, alright? So it has to be slightly wider than the tube itself, alright? That said, it's only a little tiny bit that it has to go forward, probably like 1/8 if I were to leave this side alone. So I'm going to try to cut both of my notches at about 1/4 inch. Okay, that way I know that once this one's in where it needs to be, we can play with the left side. Alright, and then when we tack weld it, we can set it straight. Now we got to cut those notches. Back outside. Alright guys, safety glasses on. And here is what I'm going for. Wish me luck. I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, to do my notches, what I did was just etch the lines and then cut them as deep as I could without really going over the edge of the next line. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm going to cut diagonal like X's, and I'll probably have to take a flathead screwdriver and a pair of needle nose and then just break off that piece. Alright, this is pretty satisfying. So you just get in there, pull the pieces right out. Little persuasion. Alright. Let's see how we did. Alright guys, so not a complete failed attempt, but my notches are too big. Alright, they're just a little bit too wide. And it's doing what I need it to do though. Alright, I'm able to get it a whole lot straighter. So instead of trying to fill this up in the welds where this is going to be pretty structural, I'm going to go and lay out another piece, except I'm going to make the notches a little bit smaller. Alright, and I can see that when I'm looking at it, if I go with the outsides of the current notches, I can make some marks and just make them a little bit narrower. So it should only take me about 5 minutes. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. You see how straight those look? Okay, now if you look right down here over the plate, you see that blank space between the tube and the plate? See how the reveal gets bigger on this side? We can hide that with a weld. Up front, our notches are nice and tight. Alright, and we can get weld in there too. Nice contact. Oh yeah. Let's get it set up outside. Might put a few clamps on it. Nah, let's go set it on the table. Get the welder out. Unfortunately, this might burn off some of our JB weld, but it's for the greater good, guys. Okay, so you remember originally when I said I should probably just notch one side so that the other side works out? Yeah, well, that's what we're seeing here. What I did is notch just this side here, alright? And that way I'm sitting level. I'll get this outside, get it straight, and I'll weld it on. Now see how the angle throws you off? If you're down here, alright, it looks pretty straight. If you come up here, you start picking up the angle, and it starts making that part look sloped. But we're pretty good under here and there. That's aggravating, huh? Okay, I got all my scale cleaned off. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it into place, tack it up, and I'm going to be using 70/18 up here, and I'm going to try to use 60/13 down here. It is super bright out here and hard to see. In order to get this level, I had to get it up off the plate. Alright, and that's to have it straight this way as well as you know, the up and down this way. So it is what it is. I took it in, I put it on the concrete, and I measured from the bottom of the pipe to the floor, and we're good right there. So I'm going to concentrate my welds up in here. See how it goes. Alright, see what happens when you try to copy professionals? Well, it helped somewhat, guys, because I definitely needed the notch on that side in order to get these things as straight as they are. These look really, really good. While I was out there with the angle grinder touching this up, I just went over the JB weld, just kind of made a rough pass. Pretty much everywhere it was already on there. A little bit down here, okay, and that'll sand out. I might fill it a little more in some places. I might take more of this out and change it a little bit. Like I said, that was just a rough sanding, okay? My welds, they're big and they're strong. All right. And it carries all the way around. All right. And what I did is I routed 7018 and then I just threw some 6013 over the top of it, basically to fill up some of the space that was in here. What I'm gonna do now is take some more JB weld. All right, and I'm gonna try to blend this in on both sides, maybe a little bit up under here too. And then tomorrow, because that won't be really thick, I think it'll cure up by tomorrow afternoon, and hopefully we'll be able to give it a full sand down. Alright, so I used an entire small tube of regular JB weld. Alright, I don't want to get too close and personal with this. I already got it all over my fingers. But as sloppy as it looks right now, that'll sand in really, really nice and blend really well. As for these wings, guys, they're obviously going to be shorter. I just don't know how short. So until I'm ready to make the cut, we're going to leave them, you know, really, really long. I believe the next part that I'm going to be doing with this is something in the 4-inch area. So, but I ordered a couple different options. So I want to see what I'm working with first, all right? Not to mention getting the motor and the drive line on so that, you know, I can see how far off center we're going to be. So I believe on some mini bikes, and I already have the stock blade on this one out in the scrap pile, but I believe some of them are offset so that one of the arms is longer. I don't know if the torque bug, yeah, okay. See how this side is slightly shorter than the other side? So we might run into something like that. I'm going to try to avoid it at all cost. Well, all reasonable cost. You know what I mean, guys. pretty legit. You know what else is legit, guys? Getting some shut-eye. It's been a long day for me. But as always, it's a work in progress. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.